Today's top stories at NBR: scepticism, Commerce Commission inquiry into building products will make any difference. TradeWindow opens its account on the NZX. Frankie Technologies raises $900K. And there's more coming right up. Kia ora and welcome to NBR Today, a wrap of the day's top business stories from the authority in New Zealand business news since 1970, nbr.co.nz. It's Monday, November 22nd. I'm Paul Brennan. Thanks again for joining us. The Reserve Bank has been urged to raise interest rates faster to combat rising inflation, although not every member of the NZIER's shadow board was unanimous about how quickly. Overall, the board believes interest rates had to be pushed higher when the bank considers the official cash rate again this Wednesday. The bank has already raised the rate from its historic low of 0.25 to 0.50% on October 6 and is expected to keep on increasing the OCR. This week's monetary policy statement comes after the Consumer Price Index for the year to the end of September recorded a 4.9% rise and unemployment a record low of 3.4%. Building industry commentators are sceptical a Commerce Commission inquiry into building products will make any difference. Ensuring Kiwis have access to fairly priced building materials was a driving factor behind the review, Commerce and Consumer Affairs Minister David Clark said. We're looking at how we can lay the foundations for a more competitive building sector. There were long-standing issues of concentration in the sector, he told Radio New Zealand. But Roofing Association of New Zealand Chief Executive Graham Moore said the timing of the review was off and questioned whether the inquiry will find much anyway. Software startup TradeWindow has opened its account on the NZX with a bang as shares gained as much as 63% on its indicative listing price. By mid-afternoon Monday, the stock was trading at $1.46, valuing the company at $125 million, up from its indicative listing price of 92 cents. Turnover was $652,695 at 2:45 p.m. As a compliance listing, no capital was raised in the float, although TradeWindow did raise $15 million this year at 92 cents a share from a mix of existing shareholders and 12 new wholesale investors. TradeWindow offers software services aimed at streamlining export administration for customers such as Synlait, Open Country Dairy, Sealord and Pan-Pac Forest Products. NZX-listed energy company Meridian has agreed the sale of its Australian business to Shell Energy and Infrastructure Capital Group for Australian $729 million. Meridian's ownership of the electricity generator and retailer had been under review since June. In a statement to the NZX, Meridian said Shell Energy, a subsidiary of listed oil giant Royal Dutch Shell, would acquire the Australian retail business PowerShop, while ICG would acquire the generation assets. Despite offering significant rental abatements, NZX-listed Kiwi Property Group has lifted its first-half operating profit by 8% and benefited from a hefty valuation uplift across its portfolio. The company, which owns Sylvia Park, Lynn Mall and other retail centres around New Zealand, reported a first-half profit of $143.2 million, up 164% on the comparable period, largely on the back of $93.6 million of revaluation gains across its portfolio. And COVID-19 related supply chain issues and closures, particularly in Auckland, have taken a bite out of profitability at Metro Glass, in the half year to September 30. But Chief Executive Simon Mander is adamant a plan put in place to diversify the business 3 years ago is bearing fruit. This morning, Metro Glass reported group revenues of $116.9 million, roughly in line with the same period last year, but EBIT had declined 76% to $3 million, and after-tax profit plummeted 94% to $0.4 million. An interim dividend won't be paid. Frankie Technologies has raised $900,000 in a seed funding round led by Icehouse Ventures, which the Auckland property maintenance tech startup plans to put towards global expansion. The software as a subscription business aimed at extending the useful life of building products by helping owners and contractors get ahead of breakdowns was started in March 2020 and already has $1 billion in property under management. Joining the NBR's Andrew Bevan was Frankie Technologies Chief Executive Georgina Fenwick.
A lot of work has gone into Green Star buildings and energy ratings over the last 10 years. We think that by fundamentally shifting and developing a really strong systematic approach to the maintenance of building products and the embodied carbon associated with things like concrete foundations, steel roofing products, we can extend the life of building products. And that's what we're fundamentally interested in.
Frankie Technologies Chief Executive, Georgina Fenwick, with Andrew Bevan there. The full details of those stories and more are at nbr.co.nz right now. Tomorrow at NBR, in Margin Call, Bevan Graham predicts what investors are likely to see in 2022, while in his economics column, John McDermott looks at the need to improve New Zealand's terms of trade. I'm Paul Brennan. I look forward to being with you again tomorrow from around lunchtime for the morning's NBR trending stories, then same time, same place, right here again from 5:30 for another NBR Today.